Hello and welcome. You're watching Verdict 2017 with me, Aishwarya Kapoor. Well, of course, it is the last day of assembly elections and voting is on for 40 seats in Uttar Pradesh and 22 in Manipur. Well, we'll get you all of the ground news reports and updates from these two states in the next 30 minutes. Let us start with the headlines. Voting underway in 7th and final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. 40 seats across 7 districts voting. Over 10% voting till 9 a.m. Polling also underway for the second and the final phase of elections in Manipur. 22 seats are voting at the moment. 45% polling till 11 a.m. And preparations for voting in Karnaprayag in Uttarakhand and Alapur in Uttar Pradesh in place. Voting to take place in these two seats tomorrow. Alright, it is a big day really for Uttar Pradesh and Manipur as well. While Uttar Pradesh is voting in the 7th and the final phase of assembly polls, and as far as Manipur is concerned, it is also voting in the second and the final phase. And well, these are the visuals that you can see. Voting is underway for the 7th and final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. All right, I will be getting you all the ground reports. Well, Kriti Mishra, our colleague, is joining us live from Varanasi. We also have with us Akhilesh Suman, who has been, in fact, camping in Manipur for a very long time. Well, we'll be getting them, getting to both of them, and we'll be getting live updates from what is happening on the grounds. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, remember, 40 seats are spread across 7 districts, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi's constituency, Varanasi, are voting today. Well, the other districts where people are exercising their franchise are Jaunpur, Ghazipur, Mirzapur, Chandoli, Sonbhadra and Bhadohi. 535 candidates, including 51 women, are in the fray. Now, there are 1.41 crore eligible voters. Well, the BSP is contesting on 40 seats, while BJP on 32. Samajwadi Party on 31, Congress on 9 and RLD on 21 seats. Now, as far as voter percentage is concerned, over 13% voting has been recorded till 10 a.m. All right, let's go across to Kriti Mishra, who is in Varanasi. Kriti, now Varanasi really became the hub of all the political activity in the last few days. We saw SP Congress road shows, and as far as BJP is concerned, of course, we have number of union ministers as well as Amit Shah camping in Varanasi for a long time. Prime Minister himself spent 3 days here. So really, but the big question, has the political enthusiasm really trickled down to the voters as well? What is the latest on the voter turnout?
Well, Aishwarya, the last that we heard from the Election Commission was that around 15% voter turnout has been recorded. And of course, there are still serpentine queues across polling booths in the 40 constituencies that are going to polls today. So certainly, we expect the voter turnout to rise, and the Election Commission has also made a lot of efforts to actually motivate voters. Now, remember, Aishwarya, it is very important for a populated state like Uttar Pradesh if there's increase in the voter turnout, because it may not matter for a small state, but even if there's 1 or 2% voter turnout increase in Uttar Pradesh, it may make or mar political prospects of a lot of parties because that translates into lack of votes. So certainly all the political parties are very closely eyeing the voter turnout, and we expect the turnout to be impressive by the end of the day. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. And, you know, as far as the last phase of Uttar Pradesh are concerned, obviously all the political parties really put in their might. We saw all the political parties really putting every effort that they could, because, you know, as far as overall Uttar Pradesh is concerned, this is going to be seen as a bellwether really for the 2019 Lok Sabha polls as well. And it is the people also likely to witness it as a referendum really on Prime Minister Modi's demonetization move.
Well, that's right, Aishwarya. It is not only the bellwether for 2019 Lok Sabha elections, it's also the litmus test for the BJP. And of course, remember, as far as these 40 constituencies are concerned, Prime Minister's parliamentary constituency, Varanasi goes to polls, and also prestige of a lot of cabinet ministers is also at stake. Because remember,
Yes.
Chandauli, that goes to polls today, it is the home turf of Home Minister Rajnath Singh, and
yes.
also the parliamentary constituency of MOS Mahendranath Pandey,
Yes.
and also Anupriya Patel, who's another cabinet minister. She hails from Mirzapur. That also goes to polls today. And also Manoj Sinha, who's MOS Rail, his constituency, Ghazipur, also goes to polls today. So certainly a lot of stalwarts, a lot of bigwigs of the BJP, their prestige is at stake. And also as far as the alliance is concerned, the BSP is concerned, they have also put out all stops to woo the voters. We've seen the road shows, we've seen the consistent rallies of the political parties.
Yes.
So remember, Aishwarya, this is just not the optics for Varanasi. This is also a larger message for the 40 constituencies that are up for grabs today. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. So 40 out of the 403 constituencies up for grabs in the last phase of Uttar Pradesh polls. Kriti, you stay with us. We'll just come back to you. We'll at the moment listen to people in Uttar Pradesh who have come out in large numbers to vote, with the development being the main agenda. Let's listen in to some of them.
विकास का काम करे, कानून व्यवस्था सही रहे, यही है और क्या।
डिसीजिव मोमेंट है ना देश के लिए, तो इसलिए इस डिसीजिव डे में सबका फर्ज पड़ता है कि अपना सहूलियत से आकर कर ले।
सबसे अपील करूं, सब लोग अपने घर से निकले, सब लोग अपना वोट जरूर दे, अपने मतदान का जरूर सब लोग अच्छे से अच्छा प्रयोग करें।
हर नागरिक को और खास तौर से औरतों को निकलना चाहिए और अपने अधिकार का प्रयोग करेंगे। अगर वो अपना अधिकार नहीं जानेंगे तो उनको स्वयं नहीं पता चलेगा कि हमारा अधिकार क्या है।
सभी लोगों में उत्साह है क्योंकि सभी लोग चाहते हैं कि अपना अच्छा चुनाव दिया जाए। और
And the Election Commission has cancelled the 19th of February voting at booth number 154 of Savajpur Assembly seat in Hardoi district of Uttar Pradesh, and has ordered a re-poll for today. Well, the state's Chief Electoral Officer JP Singh said that the information about the pre-roll has been re-poll has been conveyed to all political parties, candidates as well as election officials. Remember, re-polling was ordered following complaints against the returning officer who reportedly did not allow voters standing in the queue to exercise their franchise. And all preparations are also in place for voting in the two seats in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh. Remember, voting in Karnaprayag in Uttarakhand and Alapur in Uttar Pradesh were postponed following the death of the candidates there. While in Alapur, the Samajwadi Party candidate Chandrasekhar Kanojia died of a heart attack. In Karnaprayag, the BSP candidate there, Kuldeep Singh, died in a road accident. Now, polling there will be held tomorrow, that is 9th of March. All right, let's go back to my colleague Kriti Mishra, who's joining us live from Varanasi. Kriti, we've been discussing how important really this phase of elections is for all the political parties that are in the fray. But, you know, speaking about in general Uttar Pradesh elections, obviously this is also going to decide much really the fate of the SP Congress alliance as far as its future is concerned. Because it could set up the possibility of a continued partnership in the future as well.
That's right, Aishwarya. So this particular election in Uttar Pradesh is extremely important, has also become a cynosure of all eyes for several reasons. One being the bellwether for 2019 elections, second, the future of SP Congress Alliance, third, referendum on demonetization, and also litmus test for BJP's top leadership. So several of these factors make these elections extremely crucial for all the political parties. But Aishwarya, I would like to point out here that earlier, in 2014 and 2012 also, there were discernible ways, but in 2017 there's no discernible way to actually find out because there's no wave and there's no clarity, and it's extremely difficult to prophesize as to which party would have the edge. So because there were several, the speculation was rife that perhaps Uttar Pradesh is heading for a hung assembly. So of course at the last moment, in the last phase, all the political parties had put in all endeavors to actually woo voters for the 40 constituencies, because it is also said that whoever plays well in Purvanchal gets to govern the state.
Yes.
So that's why we saw several road shows, we saw rallies. So certainly it is extremely crucial and imperative for all the parties. Aishwarya?
And Kriti, of course, also at stake is Akhilesh Yadav's control of really Samajwadi Party, because you know, the events that led up to the assembly polls in Uttar Pradesh saw a lot of family feud. So if Akhilesh were to get good number of votes and possibly form the government in the state, it will actually cement his place as the undisputed leader of the Samajwadi Party.
Well, that's right, Aishwarya, but actually pollsters are actually contemplating as to who would be the scapegoat if this alliance doesn't fare well in the elections, whether the Congress or whether Akhilesh-led faction of the Samajwadi Party. Because remember, if alliance does well in these elections, certainly Akhilesh would have another chance and he would be able to establish his hegemony and would also really pass this crucial test. But if he doesn't fare well, he would be made the scapegoat. And of course, a lot of traditional values, because a lot of people have been talking that if elders are relegated to the back burner, certainly it's not good for the party. So certainly a lot of things are at stake for Akhilesh Yadav, and he has also tried very hard to actually establish his dominance in Uttar Pradesh. But 11th March would actually tell us whether it is Akhilesh, whether it is BJP, or whether it is the BSP. Aishwarya?
All right, Kriti, we'll just come back to you. Let me remind our viewers that, of course, this is a big day really for Uttar Pradesh and Manipur. Remember, Uttar Pradesh is voting in the 7th and the last phase, and these areas are basically the eastern Uttar Pradesh, the Purvanchal areas, and these are the live visuals that we are getting you, where you can see the good amount of voters there exercising their franchise. Remember, in all the phases, we've seen a pretty good voter turnout, and with a number of parties really putting all their might in the last phase of elections, it is expected that the voter turnout in this phase will be particularly good. All right, that was Kriti Mishra, who was joining us live from Varanasi. Really, that has become the political hotspot as far as campaigning is concerned. But will those campaigning and those bitter words really pay dividends in the end for all the political parties? We have to wait and watch. Thank you so much, Kriti, for joining us this afternoon. We'll keep coming back to you in the subsequent bulletins. We'll also have Akhilesh, our colleague, joining us live from Manipur. But at this moment, we'll take a very short break. All the updates from Manipur to follow. Stay with us.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
The art of painting comes to us from the prehistoric period. Paintings are also a valuable source of information about their age. Like this depiction of the wedding procession of Dara Shikoh. The eldest son of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan had a Mughal wedding with distinctive Indian elements. Like the veil he wears to the pomp and show of the Bharat in Hindu weddings.
Nationalism, to say, is monopolized by a certain section of people whose agenda is that if you are not with me, then you are anti-national.
Nobody can monopolize nationalism, and nobody can define nationalism.
It was the war that killed her father. Does BJP see Gulmeher Kaur now as an anti-national?
You have to understand that she's just a student for me. Our battle is with the far leftist ideological group.
Watch to the point with Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Kiran Rijiju, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Well, it is also the second and the final phase of polling in Manipur, and voters have been turning up at the polling booths right since 7 in the morning after a record 84% turnout in the first phase. Remember, 22 assembly constituencies in the Valley district of Thorbal and the hill districts of Ukrul, Chandel, Tamenglong and Senapati are voting. 98 candidates are in the fray for this phase. Well, the big names including Chief Minister Okrami Bobi Singh, Deputy Chief Minister as well as the human rights activist turned politician Irom Sharmila are contesting in this phase. 45% voting has been registered till 11. Well, voting in the state has taken place, remember, in the backdrop of an extended economic blockade called by the United Naga Council since November last year. This blockade has hit normal life severely, especially in the hills. All right, let's go across to Akhilesh Suman, who is joining us live from Senapati. Akhilesh, now close to 45% voter turnout till 11 a.m. So we can expect a good turnout in this phase as well.
This is 56% till 12. So this is running very fast. So Manipur is voting very fast and in very large numbers. You can see the line behind me. You can see I have shown you in the morning also, and you can see now also that how people are turning up at the polling booths and how they are waiting for their turn to come so that they can vote. So it's a long wait. If people are coming, the facilities are very few. Man, area is very inhospitable, but still people are so hospitable to the guests. Even the polling officials are being taken care of by the villagers. I can see that they are serving them tea, they are serving them snacks. So it's like really a participation of people in this democratic festival in this area. And the place where I'm standing, this is the Senapati area, Senapati district, and this is the hotbed of the whole economic blockade movement. And you can understand that even if this is a hotbed of economic blockade, if people are coming to cast their vote and people are telling that they want to participate in this democratic whole discussion that what type of development, what type of Manipur will be there. So this is a very positive sign. Everyone is telling that coming and participating in vote, not going into the violence, not going into the gun trotting. So I think that this is a new phase in whole Manipur history as far as you are watching at this point in time.
Absolutely. And of course, the big queues we can see, obviously the thing is that there are a number of areas where the voting will close at 3 p.m. as well. So those long queues are understandable. Akhilesh, you stay with us. We'll just come back to you. Meanwhile, Manipur has a sex ratio in favor of women. Well, there are more women than men in the state, and so are the women voters. However, political representation for women is quite low in the state. Well, in the second phase of elections, let's find out what issues are close to women here in Senapati area, which is also a center of a Naga protest.
Manipur has a splendid natural beauty. You can see the beauty of mountains behind me. This is the hilly area of Senapati district, and houses are scattered with their beauty in their whole structure. And among this beauty, you can see the whole queue of women and men waiting for their turn when they will cast their vote. The issues are so many, the problems are so many, but still the women think differently. Today is the International Women's Day, and it will be interesting to see that how women are thinking about this election. Let me ask one woman who is standing in the queue for a long time, and she will tell you that what is the problem of this area, what do you want from this election. What is your name, madam?
My name is Prishla.
So what do you want from this election?
Yeah, we are here to vote to upgrade the economic status, that is to remove the unemployment and poverty issue.
What are the women issues in this state and in this area?
In this particular district, like we have a face like problem, that is unemployment issue we have. That is the most problem we face. So we want to remove the unemployment, that is to get job in everything, and we want our state to set up a like private company or a private institute and all this thing.
So if you talk to any man, any male person, he will always tell you Naga, non-Naga issue, district, non-district issue. But if you talk to women, they are very realist and they are talking to the issues which is the core to the heart and day-to-day life. Today is International Women's Day. Do you think that something should be done for the women?
Yeah, we should we should respect women. There should be equal right for every woman. I just feel only that.
Do you think that women are not being given equal space in this state?
Yeah, somehow, but not that much like in other state.
You are better than many other states, but not much like you expect.
Yes.
So even though the women folks are bigger in numbers than the male folks, but still they feel that they are not properly respected. But it is also a reality that women are not represented in politics here, even though their numbers are very high. So it will be interesting to see that whether this election will show some awareness among the women so that they can come, they can join the politics, though in social and economic life, they are very much mainstreamed. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Senapati of Manipur.
Right, let's go back to Akhilesh Suman, who's joining us live from Senapati. Akhilesh, it's obviously Women's Day today, and in your report you were mentioning how there are more women in the state of Manipur as compared to males, and yet there's not too much of political representation in the state. But it is going to be the first time that Rom Sharmila is going to try her fate in politics, and she's up against Chief Minister Ibobi Singh himself in Thaubal constituency. So it will be very interesting how that plays out, because that is also going to decide her party's political future as well.
Yeah, Aswara, I am also very surprised to see that when male-female ratio is very much in the favor of female, and female are very good here. Female work in the fields, female go for farming, female work in various other economic lives. They are very good in political movement also. You must have seen that there had been long movement of women against the alleged harassment of women by the security forces, and women took part in women were the vanguard. You now understand this Rom Sharmila, who is for 16 years who was on hunger strike against the Armed Forces Special Power Act. And the mascot of sports is now Mary Combs, who is also from Manipur. So women are in various other fields, but in politics. In politics, you will hardly see any woman coming, and it is really surprising. So that is how I was thinking that what will be the fate of Rom Sharmila. Rom Sharmila is a woman, Rom Sharmila is an activist, and she is making right noises in this point of time as politics has been being told that politics have undergone various changes, that is very negative inputs have gone into politics. Rom Sharmila is trying to rectify this. And what I know from Rom Sharmila's party and others, that she has put such a hard yardstick so that ordinary candidate cannot join her party. She has just 3 candidates in this election, and 1 candidate was removed because they have some complaints against him. So you know that Rom Sharmila is going with a very ideal thing, ideal policies, ideal practices for the election, and now contrast with Mr. Ibobi Singh, who is a practical politician, who is 3 terms chief minister. So you can understand that if in politics one is so stable that he can be 3 terms chief minister, you can understand that how practical, how Machiavellian he can be. So now Rom Sharmila has a tough task. It is not only for Rom Sharmila, but also for the whole female folk of the Thaubal constituency, and also for the people of Manipur, particularly in that what they will respect more. They will respect more about this so-called development, because Ibobi Singh has made some good roads, he has made some good projects, he has obliged so many people in his constituency. But Rom Sharmila has nothing to oblige. The only things he had, that she raised her voice against the oppression from the armed forces, and then she came out and wanted to join politics so that she can clean the politics, she can come in power, and she can give the people their right and also their right to development. So it will be very interesting to see that, but Rom Sharmila and her party is not at all disappointed. They are waiting, whatever will be the result, they will continue the fight ahead, and they will fight for the Lok Sabha election and also for the assembly election next term.
Absolutely, but this has really made whether they win all the seats or not, Akhilesh, but it is going to be very interesting because it has made the fight interesting. We have Irom Sharmila from the Praja Party, apart from the Congress's Ibobi Singh, of course, and we have a very strong BJP contender, Basanta Singh, as well. So that has really made this entire contest a triangular contest, not just in Thawbal constituency, but other districts of the state as well, especially when we talk about the hilly areas where the voting is on at the moment in the second phase. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for joining us this afternoon and sharing all those details from there. Remember, Manipur, of course, is voting in the second and the final phase in it for its 60-member assembly. And of course, the keenly contest fight is at the Thawbal constituency, where Irom Sharmila is contesting against Chief Minister Ibobi Singh of the Congress Party and L. Basanta Singh of the BJP. Remember, the first round of voting on Saturday saw nearly 84 to 86% voter turnout, and as Akhilesh Suman, our colleague, was telling us, till about 12 noon, there was about 56% of voting already recorded. So it is expected that this round of voting will also see a pretty good turnout, if not less than the first one, at least as close to that number we can expect in the second round as well. All right, so the almost 2-month-long electioneering in the 5 states has really culminated today with the polling in Uttar Pradesh and Manipur last phase today. Well, that's all in this edition of Verdict 2017, but we'll be back on 11th of March when counting of votes will take place. All the day-long updates you will get on Rajya Sabha television. Thanks for watching.